Hi, Dr. Richard Bartlett of Matrix Energetics, Holo-SETS, Master Energy Dynamics, yada, yada, yada. I've been working in the so-called wizardly healing arts for a long time now. Really started when I got out of my first medical school, chiropractic school, in 1987. And I found total body modification and healed my son with that. I've seen many, many, many miracles over the years. I can't attribute, or I would not attribute any of them to me, but in a willingness to be a conduit or a vehicle for the universe to express itself in wondrous and magical ways. That said, I never can and I never have guaranteed that I can do anything or results for anyone. And it always concerns me with people in need, and I always wish and want to be able to do more for people. But truly, in the spirit of surrender, which is something I've lived by, there is really no power that I have outside of the power of the universal field of all oneness, all goodness, all intent. So that said, I've had a pretty good run with Matrix Energetics. Taught that for a number of years. It's taught less right now. That may change at some point, but it has changed thousands of lives. I'm pleased to be able to say. I've seen amazing miracles that I didn't even know about. Like I've walked off the stage and touched somebody briefly, and all the pain in their body went away and stayed gone. Tumors have disappeared. Allergies corrected instantly. All sorts of things. And I'm not bragging because I don't know. I know how theoretically these things are possible. There is a quantum field, and once you build a certain intent around an idea or a concept, particularly if you surrender to the universe flowing through that vehicle that you've created, then it creates more like unto itself, and it keeps drawing more unto itself. So that's how I think all techniques work, and that's certainly the secret if you want to know the secret behind the 2-point and Matrix Energetics. Holo-SETS, which I'm teaching now, harkens back to one of my other teachers, Dr. M.L. Reese, who I've talked about, who he had devices that look something like this that he called harmonics, and they're essentially a very advanced healing technology that was designed to hold, basically the way I look at it, a pattern of information that is then sequenced and programmed and charged up with powerful virtual reality forces. That's what I would call angels and other beings, so that there's an amplification of light and energy and information that can occur in a healing context. So I have, over the years, recreated that technology because I was told, and there was a voice literally that spoke to me, said, it's time to recreate that technology. So I did. So then after a number of years, for 5 years now or so, I've been doing distance sessions on Skype. I've been doing one-on-ones, and I had no idea how that would go. It was just something, it was time to do, and then that impetus came to me, which is how I do anything when the impetus occurs. And it's been very successful and very powerful and has taught me a lot. And I've been fortunately able to help many other people in that field of endeavor. Then came the GTTs, Global Transformation Seminars or webinars, which were group healings that were not specific to the individual, but allowed for a group morphic field effect to occur. And that's been very successful. Now there is a new impetus to bring forth something that has always been dear to my heart, is because I have to run a business and I have many responsibilities, I of course have to charge for my services. But it's expensive. It can be expensive to do a personal session with me, and I realize this. And this has always weighed on me. So now I'm to the point where I'm willing to offer experimentally a short session with me through Skype. It'll be about 7 to 10 minutes. It may be less, it may be slightly more. Now, I want to emphasize time is not really the issue here. It is intent, rapport, and connection. I cannot guarantee any healing will occur, and I'm very concerned about that for people that do not think I can guarantee such a thing. I wish I could. It's been the wish of my life, and I keep working every day to perfect the vessel so that the light might shine brighter through that vessel. But these sessions are going to be based upon a template that I had an impetus to create, and I'll show it to you. The basic template as it stands, it's like a menu that has many, I don't know if you can see this or not, but anyway, it has many parts to it, and it allows me to be able to work very quickly and very in depth with a person's patterns. Now, in order for this to work the way I want it to work for you, you're going to need to, if you're interested in doing this, you're going to need to submit something that tells me what medications you're on, what you've ever been on, vaccinations you've had, accidents or injuries, and surgeries, and family history. I want you to briefly tell me everything about your history, what you want me to know. Don't leave anything out, because the more I know, the quicker I can drop in and focus on the patterns. Now, the way this works is I will use dolls because I've found over the years, I can connect with my hands to the doll, and my hands will go where they need to go without me thinking. So it's like, for instance, I'm going into the right pelvic floor here now with this pattern. And by the way, I never do anything, for example, there's always a real intent going on. So somebody needs this. My hands are self-intelligent, thank God. And so they will go to the area of concern, even if it may not be something you've listed. This is something I have found over the years, and it's been tested for many years now, I can rely upon. My full interest is on doing everything I possibly can for you. Now, that said, I will also use tools like I may use something that looks like this. I will definitely at times use modules. Here's an example of a power module. These are created specifically for the technology that I work with, Holo-SETS, Holosynchronous Energy Technology Systems. And they contain a lot of power and information and the ability to amplify that quickly and efficiently. I will also probably at times, I may use a pendulum because I'm very good with that. Or I might use some sort of a power coil. This is a slim spiraling coil. Or the skull, work with the cranium. Or I could use even a dowsing rod. My grandfather was a master dowser. So all these tools you may or may not see. I also track information on paper, so I can run a timeline. I can draw a pattern. This is from my remote viewing training, I think, or it's where it started. I had remote viewing training with one of the Stargate original people. And then my own skill set around that developed as it unfolded. So all these things I'll bring to a session for you. The sessions will be $80. Again, the emphasis will not be on the time spent. The greatest thing you can do is to have no excess expectations and to be as neutral as possible to the outcome. Now, of course, it's difficult for me and for you to be neutral to an outcome, but this is where I've found the greatest change can occur. Some of the most powerful miracles I've seen is when I've stepped off a stage, touched somebody on the way to the bathroom, and some miraculous thing might have occurred. This is not me. This is the power of grace that can flow through any of us and all of us at any time. So I'm making this available for you. It's an experiment. It's going to be probably a lot of work for me, but it will be providing a service that I haven't been able to provide before, and perhaps will make available to you, some of you who have not been able to do the more expensive sessions with me. It may provide an opening, an interval for you, and hopefully this will serve you. In closing, I want to say, and I'm done, when I'm done, my hands by themselves come together like this. So this is how I know when to conclude a session. So all of these things I hope are helpful for you, and I hope that if this resonates with you, you will take advantage of this. Thank you very much.